Tonight's headlines: Palace says austerity order not a go-ahead for Bayanihan 3. Scarborough situation better for Pinoy fishers now, according to Malacanang. China's West Philippine Sea incursions won't invalidate Philippines' legal claims. Coronavirus cases in the country at 1,124,724. Sotto seeks more session days. More areas under signal number 2. Fitch keeps 4% inflation projection for the Philippines. And Pagkor remits 1.6 billion pesos cash dividends to Treasury. Good evening. Today is Thursday, May 13, 2021. I am Elmer Navarro Manuel and this is Tribune News on Q. Here are the stories for this evening. Malacanang is not throwing its support behind the passage of the proposed 405.6 billion pesos Bayanihan to Arise as One Act or Bayanihan 3 bill just yet, even if government agencies have been tasked to implement austerity measures. Palace spokesperson Harry Roque, the day after President Rodrigo Duterte issued Administrative Order 41, which instructs agencies to identify savings in their allocations from the 4.1 trillion peso 2020 national budget so that these may be used to fund additional COVID-19 response expenses. He explained that with the austerity measures in place, they will be able to identify which budget items can be realigned and how much amount of money will be needed for Bayanihan 3. House Ways and Means Panel Chair Joey Salceda of Albay earlier said that the Joint House Committees on Appropriations and of Economic Affairs are keen on approving the proposed 405.6 billion peso Bayanihan to Arise as One Act this week or next week. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque on Thursday insisted that the situation of Filipino fishermen in Scarborough Shoal is better under the Duterte administration, even amid the country's territorial dispute with China. Roque said that unlike in the past, the fishermen can now go to Scarborough Shoal, locally known as Bajo de Masinloc, to fish without being harassed by Chinese authorities. The palace official linked it to the Philippine legal victory in the Permanent Court of Arbitration, China's promise not to conduct new reclamation activities in the West Philippines, and the country's warmer relations with China under the present administration. As regarding China's actions preventing Filipinos from fishing in Scarborough Shoal's lagoon, Roque said even the Chinese don't fish there. China's unabated reclamation activities and deployment of military vessels within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone in the West Philippine Sea will never invalidate the Philippines' legal claims, according to Malacanang. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque made the assertion a day after the National Task Force on West Philippine Sea reported that 287 Chinese militia vessels were seen scattered over various features of the Kalayaan municipality in Palawan. Roque then said that the Duterte administration's policy on the West Philippine Sea, including dealing with China's incursions, is working even if the Foreign Affairs Department has always been protesting China's incursions in the area. The Hague-based Permanent Court of Arbitration already rejected China's claim of sovereignty in the entire South China Sea and outlawed China's aggression against Filipino fisherfolk in Scarborough Shoal in a July 2016 decision. Tribune News on Q will be back after these reminders.
Iba ng panahon, ang dami ng bago ngayon. Pati ang mundo natin, well, nagbago na rin. Mabuti ang magbayan, bigger, better na. Bago ng mundo for all your pera transactions, all new Bayan.
Viber is the free and secure way to connect with friends and family anywhere. Send messages and make phone and video calls for free. Download Viber now.
Hatch something big! The all-new Honda City hatchback with 4 seating modes. Utility mode, long mode, tall mode, refresh mode. The all-new City hatchback. Hatch more life!
The Department of Health reported 6,385 confirmed coronavirus disease cases on Thursday, to bring the total number of infections in the country to 1,124,724. The active cases slightly rose to 55,260, and of the total, 93.3% are mild, 2.2% are symptomatic, 1.9% are severe, and 1.4% are in critical condition. The number of recoveries, on the other hand, rose to 1,050,643 after 4,289 patients recovered from the deadly disease. The death toll is now at 18,821 following 107 fatalities. Data from the DOH also show that 61% of the country's intensive care unit beds are in use, while 41% of the mechanical ventilators are occupied. In other news, Senate President Vicente Sotto III on Thursday said he is looking to have more session days to allow the chamber to discuss priority bills when Congress resumes on May 17. He said he will call a caucus or meeting with fellow senators on Monday. The Senate usually holds session from Monday to Wednesday, with the sine die adjournment on June 5. The Congress only has 3 weeks to discuss the bills. Sotto said the priority bills to be tackled include Public Service Act, Retail Trade Act, Department of OFW, among others. Senate President Pro Tempore Ralph Recto, Senators Panfilo Lacson, Francis Pangilinan, Amy Marcos, Sherwin Gatchalian, Sonny Angara, and Grace Poe also agree with having additional session days. State Weather Bureau Pagasa announced that more areas were placed under Tropical Cyclone Wind Signal Number 2 as Tropical Storm Crising accelerated while moving west-northwestward toward the Davao Oriental, Surigao del Sur area. The weather agency said that areas under TCWS Number 2 and will experience a strong breeze to near gale conditions are the southern portion of Surigao del Sur, southern portion of Agusan del Sur, northern portion of Davao Oriental, northern of Davao del Norte, and the northern portion of Davao del Norte. The center of Crising was estimated at 250 kilometers east of Davao City, Davao del Sur, with maximum sustained winds of 65 kilometers per hour near the center and gustiness of up to 80 kilometers per hour. Pagasa said Crising is likely to make landfall over the Davao Oriental, Surigao del Sur area between Thursday night and early Friday morning. We'll pause for a short break. Stay with us.
That's it, never thought self-service can be this slick. Modify plans in a snap, walang hirap, it's a wrap. Just tap the app, now you can check, view, subscribe, renew. Help and support for you. Out with the ring apps are the in thing, you know what to do. Globe at home and Globe One, all in the Globe app na yan. Self-service and easy to use, mas okay tayo dyan. Globe at home and Globe One, all in the Globe app na yan. Instant response, no hold time pa, wala nang hintayan. Download Globe at home and Globe One app, all in the Download the Globe One and Globe at Home apps from Google Play Store and Apple App Store now. Download Globe at Home and Globe One app all in the Globe app na yan.
Montero Sport. Elevate your journey.
Drive your ambition. Mitsubishi Motors.
In business, Fitch Solutions is keeping its 4% average inflation forecast for the Philippines this 2021 amid the cut in the central bank's projection, but sees average inflation next year to decelerate to around 3.4%. Fitch Group said the projections are above the midpoint of the government's 2 to 4% target band until 2023. On Wednesday, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas' Policy-Making Monetary Board slashed the central bank's 2021 forecast of 3.9% from 4.2%, but hiked the 2022 projection to 3% from 2.8%. The cut in this year's inflation projection factored in the impact of a lower tariff on pork importation, while the reason behind the change in next year's inflation projection is the rise in global oil prices. And despite the decline in its gaming revenues due to the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation remitted 1.6 billion pesos in cash dividends to the National Treasury this month. In a statement, PAGCOR said its latest cash dividends remittance represents the agency's entire net earnings for 2020. In 2019, the state-run gaming firm remitted a total of 18 billion pesos cash dividends, which made it the third highest cash dividends contributor next to the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas and the Philippine Deposit Insurance Corporation. PAGCOR said its remittance to the state coffers is part of its continuing support to the government's revenue generation efforts to fund the various health and economic measures to mitigate the impact of the pandemic. That wraps up the stories tonight. Catch the latest news on our website tribune.net.ph and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tribune Now. The Daily Tribune is one with the nation in facing the COVID-19 crisis, and in line with this, the Daily Tribune Digital Edition and Press Reader is now available for free online. You can also download the Daily Tribune app on Apple Store or Google Play to get the latest and most comprehensive news online. Daily Tribune is also inviting everyone to join its community Viber Katribu to get updates on the freshest and hottest news and entertainment stories of the day. Tarcito emoticons are also available on our community Viber. Just visit the sticker store and search for Katribu. And before we go, we would like to thank the SM Store and the Araneta City for their continued support. Again, this is Elmer Navarro Manuel and you're watching Tribune News on Cue. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay at home. Good night and God bless us all.
Araneta City, home to the country's first indoor shopping mall, the world's original Thrilla, and the first ever Bini Bini pageant. Now a place for your first win, your first catch, your first home, your first big break, your first date, and even your first love. Araneta City, the city of firsts.
Manong Joe po!
At Ate Maita,
Matapos ang magkasunod na buwang pagbaba, bagyang tumaas ang overall electricity rates ng halos 9 centavos per kilowatt hour ngayong buwan. At paalala lang po, maging energy efficient po tayo.
lalo pag mainit. Dahil mas hirap ang appliances at mas makonsumo. Buti may bright ideas tayo na based sa Meralco Power Lab tests. Engineer Alfred?
Alam nyo ba, ang lumang aircon, mas mataas ang konsumo. Up to 682 pesos ang dagdag kada buwan kumpara sa bago. Mas energy efficient kasi ang technology ng bagong aircons. At kung inverter, pwedeng lampas 1,000 pesos ang savings per month. Piliin din yung may horsepower na sakto sa laki ng kwarto. Kung hindi, halos 1,000 ang extra gastos buwan-buwan.
Sundan ang tips na to. And visit our website para You have the power this summer!